You know what? I about had it with BPNR. Because what Lao has decided to do is wait until 8:25 to ask the drivers to change if they were okay with changing the setup. They have done so. So now the new qualifying time is at 8:40. And I feel bad for y'all. Because I'm having to post these start times at like 8:25 because give them like 5 minutes before qualifying and I can talk during qualifying. But I'm not gonna set up earlier. I'm not gonna start any earlier because I don't feel like um just talking random nonsense or incomplete silence when there's nothing to talk about during practice. And time again, Lyle has just surprised me. Like every time I stream these races, he finds a new method to delay the race even further. So, the new queue time is at 8:40, so until then, I suppose I can just open this up to like a chatting session until qualifying when I have to go about my normal spew. And I'm gonna be real, I have nothing really much to talk about. You could just watch the drivers just do their thing. They're given 10 minutes of practice with this new setup. The original complaint with the bad setup, or I don't even know what setup they were using prior, but the setup was really understeery, and well, the other two setups that were available were um, loose to the point where it's unbearable with the track ANI because those two setups weren't designed for it. Hence now, a fourth setup has been made because someone to loosen up the front end, I believe, for what I could gather from the drivers in game chat. Hence now, we're at this predicament. I'm actually going to get a couple things up here. So yeah, I suppose we could talk about yesterday's race where we've had a calm race start to finish, but only interrupted with a buttload of cautions in the middle. And it was Don Pratt able to fend off Joshua Clements for the race win. Dan Rodriguez in third. And if I could find him, someone in the top 5 that's really surprised me. I don't think they're even on track. They are not. It is Mattis Wells in the number 20. He's back here tonight after being really quiet yesterday and coming home with a top 5 out of 28 cars. He's really surprised me. This time around, we only got 15, 14 cars, so only half the field compared to last night. Regardless, I don't think the same strategies could apply to today's race for Division 2, because after last night had some game issues, optimization issues, they have decided to move the D2 race to a different version of Kentucky. Last night's race was on Kentucky Knights 21, and today's race is on Kentucky JS, which is built off the 2007 version. So any changes that SMI have done to Kentucky in the twilight years of Kentucky Speedway have not existed by this point. Magic quick little rundown. 3 minutes and practice until we go to qualifying. I'm just gonna slander Lando Lau every time he gives me a new reason to uh post delay the stream for y'all. Again, it's not my business, but Lyle keeps telling me that he'll start the qualifying at 8:30, and he has failed to do so 99% of the time. Whether I was a driver, or even now with broadcasting, including last season with the D2 races, just haven't been able to start at 8:30 exactly. And yeah, that's my little meltdown, if you will. And that's injury damage for Kirsten Bell. Don't really care. Some drivers, well, most of them, have kept the music theme going from yesterday. As far as I know, the only driver to change their livery is Troxel. He was in the R livery, the blue and white livery, the very simple one. Went back to Ben and Jerry's. Austin Barnett's the only driver in this field to have, actually one of two drivers to not run last night's race. The other driver being Colin Teague, the league owner. Did fairly okay in D2 last season. He almost won Iowa, but only for Alexander Hunt to punt him out of the way on the final lap. D2 is meant to be for drivers with inexperience, but I mean, just look at this roster. I feel like the only driver who has the least amount of experience is probably Teague, but that's putting it bluntly. And granted, I don't know everything about the BPNR lore, so how good his numbers say is unknown to me. Yeah, honestly, no one in his field really needs any development work. It's just in terms of cleanliness, I feel like every driver in here has already been there, done that. They've had their growing stages. I'm going to stab you, Skylar. Why? Now I have to reset my stuff. You just... Okay, they're only watching. Thank God, because I was going to go to their VC and just stab them. But yeah, now, as you can may see, practice is only about to end now, and we're off to qualifying. Finally. So I suppose, give me minutes.
Drivers, to your cars.
well, they set the session back anyway, so I mentioned it before on a BPNR stream some time ago, but every time the session and slash server gets pushed backwards, I have to recalibrate all the tech stuff needed for the ticker, so extremely annoying when this is already the third time they have to set this server back. But yeah, I'll be back in a minute or two to start the proper introduction to tonight's race. Welcome to Kentucky Speedway, where BPNR returns again, this time for some D2 action. It'll be their second season officially, and this will be the Quaker State 100. As the opening round, there are no points to look at, but we do have the schedule. Interestingly, it was meant to be CTS tonight, but I don't know why they abandoned that idea. So Kentucky tonight, I'll play as the season opener for the 12 race calendar. New Hampshire will be next week with Riki and Finion, the two CTS races in this early portion. DuQuoin State Fairgrounds, and hey, this big broadcasting division is sponsoring the event. Cool. Not the cleanest name race title I've seen, but I'd rather not read what North Wilkesboro has. Lyle. Then we got Charlotte to start off the second half of the season with Michigan and Tuscan Speedway, a real short track in Arizona that Carter Friesen is building and should be ready by then. That'll be in June. Heartland Mooresboro Park, the defunct road course, and Memphis, I don't know if it's still defunct or if someone's building or have bought the land and is currently rebuilding it. I forgot, but final two, those three races in italics, final three CTS races for returning to Cup Physics for the season finale of Tri-County. So happy hour ongoing. So we got Thomas Troxel on the pole with Landon Laback in P2. Kirsten Bell in P3 with Colin Teague in P4. Brandon Carter 5th. William Gregory in 6th. Dylan Negron in 7th and Dragons in 8th. Francis Bell's 9th and Aiden McCrow 10th in the final car to set a lap time. Then it is Landon Lau, Crawford, Barnett, Aziz, and Skylar D completing what should be a 15-car grid, but granted, I'm not sure if any of those people are going to race. Just something to make note of. So like I mentioned, D2 using a different Kentucky model compared to what D1 had. D1 had the NR21 version. Well, today, D2 drivers, well, the D2 race has to bear witness to the GS version, modeled closely to the 2007 version of Kentucky. So the thing I didn't mention is the restrictions that D1 drivers got for this season. Last season they were only restricted to the two super speedway races of Riki and Talladega. This season, they are given 3 races and it's free for all. So most of them opting to use their first one tonight. And to be fair, given the field size, it's likely for the better. And if this depression like field continues where it's mostly D1 drivers, I don't know if they'll consider uh, recalibrating the limitations or if the division will die altogether. Likely the latter, if I'm being brutally honest. So, much like yesterday, it'll be 67 laps, 72 laps for overtime. And, yeah, just night to day. And that's really about it. I got nothing better to talk about. Got 6.5 minutes of happy hour left. Hopefully the race starts soon. And Aziz here also. Lucky to get a little redemption from yesterday's race after getting side bashed by Steven Gibson and getting damaged because of it. Thankfully, Gibson is not here, so Aziz has one less terrorist to negotiate with. Yeah, just what else to do? And that's something I want to work on too, like pulling back the current a little bit. That's something I do need to work on. It's like I need stuff to talk about. I just don't have them written down or um like I don't know how to put it. Like I don't have much notes to go off of, and with delays this big, that means more talking. And especially when I'm alone in the commentary booth, I usually spit through my ideas before the race has even begun. And likewise under caution, even the talking points during the race usually dry up if there's more cautions than there are talking points. Alright, it is race time finally. And should be more quiet now there's less cars on the track.
Your cars.
So Aziz is gambling on no practice, although he did put in laps during happy hour, so we'll see how he does. Waiting for the rest of the grid.
Drivers, start your engines!
Let me do this now. Or if it gets. So today, 67 laps. Again, it'll be 2x rare. Cup physics. Overtime is possible, hence why the game says 72 laps. Those additional laps are for overtime purposes. Pace car dives into the pits. It shall be the pair of Toyotas, Truxel, and Lana Beck leading us to the non-existent restart zone. And Dragon's already spun the tires, but otherwise, we are underway. Truxel gets a good launch, already rockets to the lead. But Landon Lineback has his nose on the outside, and he's going to get side by side with Truxel entering 3. Contig way up the track. There is more room compared to last time, but I don't suggest being all the way up there. Lap 1 complete. Oh, a little bash of being Barnett to Teague not having a great start to this race, and he's going to flock towards the back and likely going to lose the track. He likely will. Trucks are able to defend against Lineback, and those two have broken off. Bell in 3rd, Brandon Carter 4th, who currently leads the D1 Rookie of the Year standings. And currently occupying 4th, but here comes Ryan Gregory, peeks inside into turn number 3. And Breaking Benjamin Livery moves up to 4th. A great exchange there for 7th. This is Tyler Aziz on the outside of Aiden McCrow. A little bobble between both of them, actually. So this opens the door for these two as they find themselves side by side. Mattis Wells in number 20, Austin Barnett in the number 2. That will be an overtake for 9th. And Barnett's going to look for more. He's going to go inside, 3 wide. The battle for 7 is going to force McCrow up just a little bit, but nothing too dire. And into turn 1, he gets clear of the 40, but he clips the apron. He's gonna, oh, it's also close to Aziz. He's gonna have to bounce off the wall. But Barnett does get the position up to 7th and 2 corners. And goes Wells trying to take it 3 wide. He saw what Barnett was able to do. And there's still 3 wide into turn number 1. Aziz backs out. Well, Aziz thought about giving a bumper to McCrow, but thought better of it. Goes wide, going to allow number 14 to get inside and take the position away. Dragons, who was sitting comfy behind him, is going to turn Aziz. That's 2 days in a row for Tyler Aziz, just doing nothing. No, no aggression whatsoever, and Aziz is already wrecked. Colin Teague also around as the exit to 2 separate cars. And man, I just feel bad for Tyler Aziz. He didn't deserve this. So back at the front, it is Thomas Troxel leading over Lana line back. William Gregory has overtaken for third. Brandon Carter fourth. Kirsten Bell falls back to fifth, with Dylan Negron sixth. Also Barnett and Simmons, Mattisville's in eighth. Dragons in ninth. And Eden McCrow completing your top 10 with Tyler Aziz and Colin Teague, who have just ranked 11th and 12th. And those are the only 12 cars slated to race, as then the others have decided to race tonight. They just want to spectate. And another spin. That is counting again. Had a nightmare of a opening 2 laps for the number 51, and he's already got significant rear end damage. He's going to stay on track, but I'll just pit for damage. So the two versions that were used for Kentucky yesterday and today, Night 21 NGS, another thing with today's version that is severely bottom lane dominant. It has less banking, and well, that opens up kind of just more like a 1 miler idea where you kind of just have to hug the bottom and just time your runs correctly. Is what Lana Lineback is trying to do against Thomas Troxel. As close in, this time gaining half a tenth. But the biggest gain is actually William Gregory, who is about 3 car lengths behind Blonde and back, but is making good progress. At the pit lane is Tyler Aziz. He will fall 2 laps down, I believe. Colin Teague has also pitted. And all that driver side damage. And 2 cars in the back, that'll be Bell and Negron. And that'll be a caution flag, our first one of the night. Shelby Troxel, Laudenbach, and Gregory winning the race back. Shall see what happened to trigger this caution. Starts back here with Bell. And she gets loose. It's a slow spin, but a slow realization. And ultimately, Negron nowhere to go on that. So those two, as well as the rest of the field, opting to pit. It'll be Aziz and Teague, the 2 lap cars, opting to take the wave around. And we got another one. Kirsten Bell pits a lap early, likely with the significant damage. We'll just a bit more and see who wins off the pit lane. It will be Troxel, Laudenbach, Gregory. Top 3 remained unchanged. It'll be Carter, Bells, Barnett, Negron, McCrow, and Dragons. Oh, black flag for Thomas Troxel, speeding penalty, so who the number 1 car, who has led every lap so far, is going to go to the rear. So it'll be Lanela back, inheriting the lead with Gregory in P2 under our first caution of the night and BPNR D2 from Kentucky. Oh, Latimer's coming back in, so something wasn't right. And we can go back in into the pit lane. Troxel and Contigue also taking a second trip down. So Bell is the first in queue, but is currently the 10th place car, last car on the lead lap. So William Gregory will have the race lead with Brandon Carter P2. Which is yeah, with the top 2 drivers of the day so far going to the rear, this opens the door for the rest of the field. So we should be getting a choose cone. There it is. Likely choose cone this time round. So in terms of strategy, nothing really too significant, just one stop for everyone still, as we got 50 laps when we go green of the scheduled 67 laps. So it is indeed choose cone time. It's going to be Gregory on the top side. He's got Barnett behind. Second and third opting for the inside. So it's only Aziz and Teague laps down. Aziz will likely... Excuse me. Aziz hoping for a quick caution flag to get himself back on the lead lap after getting spun out by Dragons in the number 78 in the early going within the first 10 laps. So Shelby William Gregory, who will lead the field to green with Brandon Carter joining him on the front row. Then it is Wells and Barnett row 2, McCrow and Negron in row 3. Up the gears we go, and back underway from Kentucky. Even launch from the front row. Barnett isn't hooked up to the number 30. Number 30 taking the third and fourth lanes to stay on the outside. And Carter is actually holding strong on the inside. On board with Barnett, he's going to get by the 30, who's going to clobber the number 1 as he spins, and that's going to be a big one in mid. Oh boy. For a small field, you did not. I suppose that classifies as a big one. No foul, but Crow, Aziz with a plow, and it's all started because the 0-1 of Brandon Carter spun at the exit of turn 4. And it's all she wrote, just a self spin for Brandon Carter. Got no one else involved. Aftermath after he got hit by Barnett. Like he was the real overseer of the big one as he collects Wells, the Grun, got the Crow, all of them plow into the grass. Hey, where's Tyler in all this? He's back here. I don't know what his plan is, to be honest. Might be better if we go on board. He had been wrecked, actually, so... Let's see. Oh, it was a 78 who spun, and... Yep, well, the 78 and 14 cars have found each other again. So that's two, and since the 14 has gotten involved in the number 78 shenanigans, and... Well, as he's got the quick caution, just at the cost of more damage time to prepare for. As I don't believe everyone had pitted, so it was only one lap. I don't blame them if they don't pit. So now, second time round, it'll be Lineback who hits the commitment cone and spins, so elbozo. This race is really just the epitome of shits and giggles. Because you got these goobers just swerving randomly, it just is really unserious. It, I mean, the way I view this division is like, it was a necessity for some drivers, because there were a good amount of D1 drivers who really shouldn't be in the league if it stayed one division, because you got all these serious drivers. They've known the game for years now, and they're putting up against drivers who have never done online before, let alone a singular NR race. They're having to share the same racetrack, and ultimately, there were enough drivers to compensate for Division 2, but in a fitting irony, none of them are here tonight, and probably will never be. So, ultimately, it's just a waste of a division. So we got choose cone this time. And race leader, Kirsten Bell, after getting right in the first caution, will take the inside to control the field. Only two people on the inside, make that three with the Crow, four with Aziz, who has just been put back on a lead lap. Look at that, all that damage has been fixed miraculously. Wait for Thunderberg and Barnett, who have pitted. Alright, no DNF so far after what will be 22 laps complete from Kentucky Speedway. It will be Kirsten Bell leading us to the green flag. Troxel, pole sitter on the outside. Go on board with Gregory on this restart as he starts second on the outside. Bell sideways up. Exit 2 is gonna allow the 30 to try something, but he's gonna have to lift off. He's actually back out quite significantly. He's going to drop down from 3rd to 6th. So what kind of strategy game is the number 30 trying to do? Now he's side by side with the Z's, but that's not going to last very long. The Z's with the charge on the outside against Mattis Wells. He's gonna have to use the 77's draft to get a bit more leverage into turn number 3. Close quarters back here. This is for 8th place. Brandon Carter trying to put on a recovery drive. And he's put up against Aidan McCrow for this battle for 8th. Austin Barnett's waiting in the wings. So far, he's been the only driver to instigate 3 wide moves. Granted, he has been in the back for most of the race, and he's going to get into the 0-1 who's self-spun again. Another 2-car accident, and it's the same 2 drivers. So, caution number 3. And the drivers are not racing back. So, they have already taken the caution flag. Base cars up the road. Troxel has taken the lead away from Bell and Lana back after starting last for this restart up to 3rd. Oh, for Pete's sake, brother. Well, same song, same dance. Just number 30 washing up, tries to get back to the bottom and flips off too much. That just upsets the car, and around she went. Barnett gets collected, and the 0-1's shenanigans again. He's actually braking, trying to avoid, but he himself goes spinning into him, so just a wash, really. He and many others in the pit lane. Troxel misses his box, so that's going to help Kirsten Bell. And out of the pit lane, it'll be Bell, Troxel, it'll be Aziz and Negron, Gregory 5th. Aziz with a black flag. He's gonna have to go to the rear. They wrecked under caution somehow, but what did you do? Mattis Wells has pulled the Danica Patrick move. Coming out of the pit lane. Merging on the backstretch and point and laugh at him. Last split decisions, because I don't know what the plan is. Kind of choose cone that's been established for at least a minute now, according to Land Allow. So Bell hits the choose cone. She's gonna have to go to the rear. It'll be Kirsten Bell to the rear, so that promotes Negron to the preferred line for the restarts. It's going to be first on the inside, Troxel, natural leader on the outside. Base lights are out. Gonna conclude lap or caution number 3. 28 laps when we go green, still a little over half the race of the scheduled 67 laps. See if Troxel's able to launch as good as he did on the initial start. And away we go, bit of wheel spin for most drivers. And the ground gets the better restart. He's going to clear Troxel. Nope, not yet. Into turn one. They're still side by side. Troxel with the head of steam on the outside, able to retake the lead. William Gregory in the number 30 following. All these drivers just grabbing what they can. Colin Teague has no rear end anymore after a backwards collision into the outside wall early into the race. And yeah, he's puttering out there, still one lap down. Or actually, he's just been put back in the lead lap, so he is racing for position here. And speaking of racing for position, 6th place with a Z. He gets loose underneath. That'll cost Barnett to check up, and he's going to get clobbered by Colin Teague. And Lanolin already disappointed. It's much like yesterday where we get a good opening stem and then these drivers just can't manage a five lap run for the life of them. I'm bored with Barnett. You see the 14 slip and that immediate reaction for the 2 car to slam on the brakes to avoid hitting him, but like I mentioned with Carter, any sudden weight shift will cause these cars to break loose, and if he can't recover it, then well, that's all she wrote. It's very easy to do that on cold tires. We're only 2 laps into that run. Everyone back down the pit lane as the caution cooldown will be implemented for this next restart. So when we go green, it'll be a guaranteed 5 laps under green flag conditions, hopefully. Out to the pits, Gregory wins with Negron and Jaggins in 3rd. And one car stays out, it'll be Lodenbeck. Try and take advantage of the track position. Troxel wanting to kill his pit crew with a 17.8 second stop. I don't blame him. Now, I say Lodenbeck has good track position, but for the field that's small, I suppose track position, I'd say it kind of doesn't matter. I say kind of, because it still very much does, but ultimately, it'll be not as consequential if you pit versus not. If land a line back, people. But what the point I'm trying to make is you can gamble with pitting more frequently with a smaller field as opposed to a larger field, especially when you get consistent yellows back to back. Because I say 4 tires is a better gamble with a field size of 12 versus 28. So the stage is about to end, but we will go green here. About to complete halfway through BPNR D2 at Kentucky. It'll be William Gregory leading us to green with Nick Grun alongside. Then it is Dragons and Truxel, row 2, and Kirsten Bell. And oh my lord, what just happened? Okay, but you've aborted a restart, so I don't. And they about wrecked it, trying to slow down. So multiple things just went wrong. It starts back here. Got Light and Lyle, not Light and Lyle called a pace car in late, so it's going to stay out here. Lineback sees it, chooses pit, and there's hella confusion. Some people went, some people didn't, and that causes Z's to get wrecked by Colin Teague. Somehow this is worse than the D1 race. Like, the wrecks were understandable, but some wrecks here is just. This is the most bizarre one I've seen. I'm overhearing TeamSpeak right now. As much as I slander Nathaniel, I feel bad for him. Because, oh, this whole this whole situation confuses me, its broadcaster confuses the driver, so everyone will flock down the pit lane, and this will essentially be non-competitive pit stops. So, regardless, they they're going to reorder everyone from the moment of the restart, that and what should be, if that makes any sense. I can't speak. My brain is fried trying to uh trying to understand what the hell I've been witnessing tonight. So, non-competitive pit stops, everyone will be reordered to the lap 33 to 34 restart before they wrecked. So, Lyle read out the order so fast I don't know who the hell's supposed to be leading. But I believe it's the 30 who has the lead with Negron, as far as I remember. Okay. They made a race news. This is bizarre. The Troxel just said this over the global teams whisper in the TeamSpeak. Apparently someone made a fake account of him on Instagram and started following everyone. So he has to fix that under the caution period. Well, I guess he doesn't get that chance because we're going green. And well, he's gonna have Troxel's gonna have to deal that probably at the next caution or after the race. It'll be DeGron who takes control of the field out of turn number 2. Troxel trying to re-establish himself with the lead. Gonna have his nose under. Good lunge, but overdoes it. Not a good lunge after all, and that is more cars involved. That's Kirsten Bell, Colin Teague, and William Gregory. So it was caution cooldown, but half the field wrecked. So we go back under caution. I suppose it's caution number 4, but if you want to include the fact that we went green for like 15 seconds, or not even that, it's like 10 seconds before the restart got aborted, then it'll be 5 cautions now. On board with Gregory, Troxel with the brake save, and already nowhere to go. Collects more. That being Colin Teague is having really abysmal day. And I don't like maybe better be on board. Why are you meant to do here? Like, what are you meant to do here? How did Bell spin? Probably just a reactionary, as she was battling for 4th on the inside. And looks to be just that. So she's back down to pit lane, so does everyone, and then Talazee wins off. Likely 2-tire call with the Gron and Dragons. So over race control, the next assuming restart shall be single file instead of double file, and will be keeping the caution cooldown as it was not met during the previous run. So this should be fun. So it'll be Carter, Lineback, Troxel, and Dragons who opt to pit this second time round. Reminder, we are not taking the choose cone procedure this time, and these drivers will have to restart single file. So that leaves Talaziz with the race lead with Dylan Negron in P2, Eden McCrow in P3, Mattis Wells in P4, Austin Barnett P5, William Gregory P6, Kirsten Bell P7, Colin Teague in 8th, Brandon Carter wins off the pit lane the second time round in 9th, and Lineback 10th, with Troxel and Dragons following suits. All 12 cars remain in this race. Can we at least get a good enough run like we had 15 laps at the start, and then it's just been hell from here. So if I had to reference up the D1 race, we should have somewhere around the 15 to 20 lap run to the finish. Maybe longer if they actually keep it green. Who knows? But Talon's up the gears, back green with 40 laps in the books, 27 left of the scheduled 67. A lot of people banging the wall off of 2. So far, so good. Gregory's gonna wash up a hill and clips on him back, and that would be only a single car, surprisingly, but Takati gets a piece of it. So the line of back shenanigans have been put to an end, for now at least, as he won't be as competitive as he once was able to. And this would be probably in exchange for 5th. Got Barnett on the inside, saw someone spin, that being Dragons and Troxel. Both of them go around at turn 4. We will keep it green as we are still under caution cooldown. Meanwhile, Barnett has made the pass for 5th as Kirsten Bell with a crossover mid-corner and will take 3rd place away from Aiden McCrow. So cooldown shall end in what is now 2 laps time. And that'll be our first retirement of the race. 44 laps in, Thomas Troxel has given up. Negron slaps the wall, so does McCrow in the back, and really sideways as the 2, and he finally goes around at the backstretch. And it's only a single car, and now that the field has spread out even further, Aziz has a comfy lead over Kirsten Bell. Meanwhile, Negron is breathing down her neck for the 2nd place spots. Gotta go a little ways back with 45, Mattis Wells in 4th, and McCrow in 5th. All within their little rounds, but still within close proximity. And now, caution cooldown has ended, so caution should be enabled again, and yep. Hopefully we don't see another one. We've already had 5 cautions in this race. I think it's worse than what we've done in D1, if I'm not mistaken. Which for a field that mostly consists of D1 drivers is honestly disappointing. Bell has been closing in quite a bit, chopping up the lead in half this last time round. So if this goes green the rest of the way, it'll be a 27 lap run, so you could make some run of some leadway by pushing, but I suggest saving still. As they're 3 wide, this is for 5th place. Well, it's going to be Brandon Carter gets the best of these 2 as they find themselves bashing against each other at the exit of 2. But McCrow is going to get 6. William Gregory, the ultimate loser, as he's going to shove him back up the hill at the exit of 4. I don't know if Gregory knows what happened or if that's just freak accident, but I don't suppose that 30 is happy with the number 40 of McCrow. No. So Barnett pitted, as you may have seen, and likely for the worn tires caused from his spin. So he is the only lapped car as we are within a 20 to go. Dead even lap time. When comparing the top two, Negron slipping back, Mattis Wells a little bit slower, and Brandon Carter now in 5th. He's gonna have to do some really good head work to charge his way to a possible podium. Yeah, everyone has just spread out now, and as Lineback comes back down the pit lane, like he had a spin and caused by contact. So a lot of mistakes are being publicized in this final run, but should be the final run of the race, and that was costing him dearly. Got Troxel, who got wrecked. He's out of the race. Barnett and Lonemac with spins, and currently I think it's only Dragons who has yet to pit despite his spin. And there goes Lonemac, so that is retirement number 2. And if Barnett gets a little bit more patience, he can find himself walking away with a guaranteed top 10. The battle for 4th place, 3 cars under a blanket. That's Mattis Wells, who is starting to fall back. Instead of 34 last time, now Brandon Carter and William Gregory on top of each other. Carter thought about passing on the apron, but thought better of it. That allows William Gregory to make a moonshot, overtake on the outside of the two of them. It's still dead even into turn number 3. Lots of lanes to pick from. And this version of Kentucky. And Mattis Wells on the bottom lane is able to prevail. Again, Gregory trying again, this time at the inside of turn 1. And washes up number 20. He's going to get 4th place. Brandon Carter not close enough to respond, trying to follow the number 30 through. And currently I'd say the only good battle on track, as I check back in with the leaders. Now Bell is on top of Aziz. We're coming up to 10 to go, short lead. Bell has found herself with a possibility to win. Aziz was slightly slower last lap. Now Aziz, actually the factor of Bell, gaining almost a 10th on her. Negron by himself in 3rd. He's lost a draft at this point, and now the battle for 4th between the 3 cars have broken off. This is really just a battle with these two. The only good action we're going to get as we come to 10 to go. Bell with a slightly better run through the 8 pass. She's closing in, but it's barely noticeable, and Aziz is able to keep the preferred lane into turn 3. She's playing defense. These two have a little bit of history as of recent. Bell and Kirsten Bell trying to make the move on Tyler Aziz for the race lead in DSRA at Las Vegas. She ended up overcooking turn number 3 and killing the both of them. So right now, she looked like she was about to recreate that moment as soon as I speak of it, but not yet, at least, for Kirsten Bell. Not her bookmark just yet. Ian McCrow coming out of the pit lane. And he's gonna slide in behind the number 29. I wonder if he gets going, just bypass these two. See if that will shake things up. 2 laps down to the leader, the number 40 car is, but McCrow, likely because of the damage on the passenger side, is letting them fight it out. Check here, battle for 5th. Mattis Bells and Brandon Carter. And Carter was a little bit too lenient on Wells earlier, and that allowed William Gregory to get by him. So, with Gregory out of the picture, he should be a little bit more aggressive with the 20, but he's backing up and has lost a good amount of time to, excuse me, good amount of time to Wells, so that possibility ultimately up to him, as I'm really missing a side-by-side race for the win as they head to 5 to go. Kirsten Bell on the outside. He's gonna try to cross over as he's gonna have to defend that bottom lane. He's hit the apron. That allows the number 29 to get her nose under on the inside. And she'll take up the second lane on the very wide turn 3 and 4. And she'll take the race lead as he's now to go offense. He has a couple of lapped cars ahead. I don't think they'll catch them. Maybe one of them at minimum. As he's at a better run on the outside this time in turns 1 and 2. Still side by side. And very wide is the 14. Just not the line we'll rather take. 3 to go at the line. And Kirsten was faster, 33.1 versus Aziz's 33.2. You can just see if the Dragons is next car up ahead of the leaders, so if they catch him, which is very unlikely as Bell swashes up the hill, that should play an influence to this race win. Determines who decides. As Bell's going to defend the outside into turn 1 as they hit 2 to go. They're coming up on the 78 car Dragons. You can either move aside or to play an influence. Kirsten Bell really not having the 8x she would like. 78's trying his best to stay out of the way, but coming to the white flag, 1 lap for Kirsten Bell, and she has a hungry Tyler Aziz just in the wings. And she defends inside. Aziz hits the wall. Got one more chance here. Gonna try 30 gear through turns 3 and 4, but he's washing up. It will not be enough. Kirsten Bell wins in D2 at Kentucky. And a destroyed Peugeot will solidify this race. If I had to explain it in a singular image, that's pretty much the race. It's just a whole heap of smoke. Yeah, this race was just a disaster. Really about it. Might as well read results before they get shuffled around. Bell, winner, is he second, Negron third, with Gregory in fourth, Colin Teagan fifth. And it is Mattis Wells in sixth, Brandon Carter seventh, Jenkins in eighth, uh, Russell Barnett in ninth, Aiden McCrow completing your top 10 with Landon Lomback and Troxel will be 11th and 12th. She bursting down in the daylights of Kentucky. This, yeah, pretty depressing, but what am I supposed to do? Here's about the fastest lap. That belongs to Thomas Troxel with a 31.614. Second place, William Gregory, 31.624. And Lyman Beck with a 31.72. Oh. Gregory still finished in top 5, but the rest of them ultimately fell into the clutches of D2 shenanigans. Does seem like anyone wants an interview, so I'll probably wrap up here. Tomorrow, CCRS heads to California, to Mount prehistoric racetrack in Southern California. Friday, busy as usual. Got Budweiser at Dover. They'll be streamed here. Gnarl heads to Michigan. They'll be streamed on Cheese Food Media, assuming Zach is available. And Essex heads to Charlotte for their All-Star race. The nearly full throttle setup using Charlotte 2013. They provided a really good show last season. Should be the same grain of salt this season. Then Saturday, with RCC off this week, IFR headlines it. They'll go to Charlotte, and that'll be covered on Cheese Food Media as well. Next up for D2 of BPNR, they'll head to New Hampshire, which is not on the D1 schedule, so this is one of those standalone races for the division. Should be interesting. I haven't seen too many leagues use New Hampshire actually, so okay. It'd be interesting to see how these drivers handle the track, whether it be D1 or D2 accomplice that tackle the track. But yeah, final check. No one wants an interview. All fine by me. And thank you for witnessing the disaster that is D2 of BPNR at Kentucky. So until Friday for the Budweiser Cup Series, I shall see you next time.